Alright. Hey, what's going on, my boys, bro? I'm back. With a new, with another, what if. This is what if Deku never got One for All Part 4. I'm pretty sure. I always don't remember, but either way, yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna actually try and be back. I got a new headset, so it's all good now. My dog's in like, on my bed, so if you hear anything, that's him. But yeah, actually getting to the story. Okay, so with this specific one, I'm gonna be doing something different. Like I'm gonna tell this part through like two different perspectives, and you'll understand in a bit, like once I go into it. But yeah, I guess we just go into it. I guess I always forget how to do these because it's been so long. So yeah, don't go too ham on me. Where did we leave off? I have to tell you your bedtime story. Uh, let's see. Where did I leave off? Oh, okay, yeah. The sports festival. Yeah, yeah. So Bakugo, Bakugo got offended. I'm pretty sure, and he just destroyed Todoroki. So yeah, I guess we just leave it off from there. Um, After the smoke cleared, I'm gonna say, Todoroki was like, he was seen unconscious with a crater in the wall, and Bakugo stood there with an angry and upset expression, whispering like, "Don't make me think of that loser right now." Then he closed his eyes and passed out as well. Because he might have used One for All. I don't remember. What are you doing? All right, yeah. I'm pretty sure you can't hear it, but he's weird. So anyway, medics they came in the arena and took both Bakugo and Todoroki to like Recovery Girl, and they both get healed. And then they go out to the ranking area where Bakugo gets first place, of course. And All Might, he congratulated Bakugo, saying like, "I think Todoroki got in your head a bit," like jokingly. And Bakugo just told him to shut up, and All Might told him that they'll talk later, as he gives like Todoroki and Tokiyami their medals as well. So going back over to Deku and Dabi, they make it through the portal, and Toga runs up demanding like where they both been. And Dabi tells her to calm down while Deku just continues walking and ignoring her. So Toga tells him to get back here, but he says nothing, and then heads to his room. I'm sorry, I have hiccup thing. I think I don't know what I have. It is something, but Deku opens his door and then shuts it, and then he takes out a notebook and starts like putting down all the information he's gained from the sports festival into it. So just in case or something like that, so he can plan. So later he like he finishes and walks back to the bar, and he walks over to his stool and looks at the TV for like the news. And what it says is that the hero killer Stain was seen in a city. I don't know what the name of the city was. I should have probably looked it up before this, to be honest. Yeah, no, but somebody might leave it down if they're still watching. But yeah, so Twice sees like Deku looking at the TV and asks him like, what is he looking at? So Deku replies saying like, I think I'm gonna make a few arrangements. And back at UA, a day passes, and Aizawa tells them all that they're gonna be doing internships. And the class starts asking questions about it, and Aizawa tells them to shut up. Also, like because you don't mess with Aizawa. And he says like that hero names are also a thing. So basically, everything goes as canon, except All Might tells Bakio to go to Gran Torino instead of Deku, and Bakio doesn't have his hero name still. I think it's just Bakio. But they haven't even said it inside the manga. I don't know when they're gonna announce it. I really want to know. Like, I don't care, but I just do care. That's the thing. It's just one of those things. But anyway, yeah. So Bakio goes to Gran Torino instead of Deku, and then Bakio looks at All Might with an irritating look, saying like, "How can an old man improve my skills?" And All Might just told him to do it, and he puts his name on the paper. So what are you doing? Why are you licking my bed? Man, you're weird. Oh man, bro, I love dogs, man. But yeah, so Bakio does write down his name. And going over to Deku's view now, Deku is like walking around where he used to live and finally decided it's time to go home. So he's been preparing himself for this like ever since he gave his mom the note he wrote like before. And he made it, he made it to the door and then he knocked on it in a specific pattern. So Inko opened the door and dropped everything she was doing before. And she ran up, hugged Deku instantly. Deku laughed a little, saying like, "Wow, you still recognize me?" And Inko was in tears, like saying like, "Of course I would remember my baby." And yeah, bro, that stuff hurts, man. But then she looks at his face, seeing the two red eyes, and she asked about them, and Deku told her like they need to talk. So Deku walks in the house and like looks as they're walking to the living room, and he realized like there's not a trace of All Might at all in the house. Like not even like there won't even be like a little crumb if it was like a food or something. So they both sit down, and Deku asked Inko if she remembers the note, and she responds saying yes, and she knows like there's nothing she can do about it. So Deku takes off his hood and tells her that it's not her fault. And Inko, she begins to cry, but Deku tells her it's okay. And then they go over everything that's been going on. Or Deku does. And Inko's only response is like, "What are you gonna do next?" And Deku asked her if she's seen the news, like, recently. And she thought about it and said, like, "You're gonna partner up with that Stain guy, aren't you?" And Deku nodded with, Inko saying, like, "Look, I understand why you're doing this, but please don't get hurt. I already lost you once." And Deku got up and hugged her, saying, like, "I won't. And I will make him play. Like, I will make him pay." And then she tells him, like, "No matter what you choose to be, just know I support you all the way and I love you, okay?" Like, bro, that's how mom should be, bro. Oh, jeez. Dang. Huh. Wow. But yeah, later that day, Stain was like standing on a rooftop looking at the city, and a portal opened behind him. Without looking, Stain asked, like, "Who are you?" And Deku responded saying, "I'm here for an offer, hero killer." I can't speak. I just ruined the moment. Okay, nice, bro. Nice, hero killer. That's a tongue twister for me, apparently, but, let's just keep on going. So, heading back over to Bakio, internships they begin, and everyone splits up as they like head to their um, you know, internships. And Bakio takes a train heading to the city where Gran Torino was, and when he makes it, he goes over to his house, and there was no answer, so Bakio just like forced the door open and seen like an old guy on the ground with a puddle of blood beneath him. And I'm gonna say it's the same interaction as canon, but it's Bakio, so he ain't having it. So instead, I'm gonna just skip to their training because I'm pretty sure there's really nothing that went on. So I'm pretty sure Bakio already had like 5% full cal, so they worked on making it like a higher percentage of power. And I'm gonna say the day of training finishes, and Bakio made like an improvement from 5% to 7% in like less than a day, which is pretty good. Like that's insane if you were to like really think about it. And Green Torino, he tells Bakio like as a reward that they'll go out and do some hero work, which Bakio like doesn't care. He just wants to fight villains all the time. But yeah, at that same moment though, Deku, Dabi, and Toga twice, Kirigiri, and Stain. Is that all of them? Yeah, because Mr. Compress isn't there yet. Okay, yeah. They all stand on a rooftop, going over like what's about to happen, and Deku tells them that he'll send the Nomu throughout the city and leave traces, letting everyone know that this was done by the League. So he finishes up, and then he sets a timer for 5 minutes. And of course, the 5 minutes they go by, and the timer goes off with like Nomu just starting to appear throughout like portals, with Dabi spreading his blue fire across as well. Like it's all over the city. So it's like more intense than canon, basically, because you have the whole crew. So it's just wow. But yeah, Twice and Toga, they also make their moves, and Stain heads off last. So a large destruction, is going throughout the city, and more heroes start to show up because it's like, shoot, like this is like bad. Why you keep on moving around my bed? Now he's just looking out the window. Okay, he's bored. I'm gonna play with him like after I finish this up. But yeah, so Deku just like smirks, saying everything is going as planned. So the main three villains, they leave marks, and the League of Villains is like written throughout the city with like the name Izuku also left as marks. What are you doing? Are you gonna lay down or not? Okay, yeah, he is. Okay, that's cute. But yeah, so Deku just looks as the destruction goes on. And heading back over to Bakugo's point of view, Bakugo and Gran Torino, they hear like a large explosion while on the train, and a Nomu crashes in. So Torino, he takes care of him and tells Bakugo to like stay put, but we all know he ain't. Like he ain't doing that. So he runs out and starts looking around, like what's going on, and he sees Ida like running into an alley and staying in there as well. And he thinks to himself like, what is that dumbass doing? Like, what are you doing? And he makes it to the alley and sees like a sword in Ida's shoulder. Or no, isn't it? No, it's a katana, ain't it? I don't remember. I haven't watched the anime in a while. But with someone holding a knife to Stain. So Bakugo has no idea what's going on. He just sees Ida on the ground, and he sees like someone is trying to threaten Stain, basically. So after all the chaos was done, like starting up, Deku. This is before, by the way. So Deku decided to follow Stain, and he activated his Sharingans to follow Stain's trace left behind as well. And eventually he makes it to the roof, to like a rooftop, and looks down at what's going on in the alley below, and he sees one of those fake heroes like lying there with the kid from UA yelling like at Stain. So Deku just sat down and started listening in, because he's like, bro, he's on his serious mode right now. I'm just letting you know. He's basically equivalent to the picture right now. But yeah, he just Ida like then tried attacking Stain, but he got cut by him and became paralyzed because Ida's stupid and doesn't think about stuff. So Deku just looked at it and said, so that's how you get the kills. Okay. Okay, that's your quirk. I understand now. So he said right after, that's like a boring way to win. So Stain walked up to Ida and began like saying that he's gonna be one of the fakers as well. So might as well get rid of that before he becomes a problem. And basically that's just a diss at Ida. Like Ida kind of deserves it. He's a fake hero anyway. But yeah, he stabs Ida in the arm and he screams like in agony. So Deku jumps down and tells Stain to like hold on, and that you're like doing this too boringly. At least like make it a fair fight. And basically Deku just don't care. So Stain tells Deku to get lost, but then he grabs onto Stain's shoulder, causing him to like point his sword like millimeters away from Deku's nose. So Deku just pushes the blade down with his finger and says like, well, This is part of my plan, so no. And he charged at Stain, like holding a small knife, and starts like slashing at him. And Stain deflects it though, and like tries to cut through Deku. But Deku, he's a god, so he body flickers in place, dodging the attacks. He gets ready to attack Stain again. And by the way, just to let you guys know, Deku is not trying at all. He just wants to like make it interesting. So Stain begins to get mad and says, "You're dying next." So he throws his sword in the air and pulls out another like sword slashing at Deku. And Deku starts to lose the fight. Why do you keep on moving around the? You're moving to all corners of the bed trying to lay down. Oh, you're just so freaking cute though. Oh jeez, but yeah. So anyway, yeah. So Stain, he's pulling off some moves. He's like throwing swords in the air. He's pulling out different. Bro, he's going off. So yeah. Deku like starts to lose the fight. Not really though. And the sword comes back down and cuts the side of Deku's arm. And just skidded across it. But Stain rushes over in a flash, taking the blade and licking off the blood. And Deku falls to the ground, saying like, "This isn't how it was supposed to go." And you know, Deku is being sarcastic because bro, he already knows what's gonna go down. So Stain kneels down and lifts Deku's head, like holding a knife to like in the other. And he tells Deku that he's been waiting to like betray him ever since they first talked. Oh, do you want to leave? Let me open up the door. Here you go, Puffy. All right, there we go. All right, yeah. He just looks at me like I was supposed to freaking carry him across the world or something. Spoiled brat. But yeah, so um yeah, so Deku's kind of like there. And he basically Stain was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna betray you." And Deku, no, 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 no. Who do I want to laugh? Yeah, I want them both to. So Stain, Stain began like laughing, but then Deku did as well. So Stain looked at him and said, like, "What are you laughing at?" And Deku replies saying, like, "I've been thinking the same thing." And Stain feels a sharp blade touch his neck, and Deku just starts to fade away, like the one that he's holding. And Stain asks, like, "What did you just do?" And Deku said, like, "It's nothing. But now you see that it's boring when you're not actually fighting in a fight." And, you know, Stain tries to, like, swiftly take down Deku, but he sees his eyes, like, glow bright red with three dots appearing in them. And by the way, if you don't know what just happened, Deku just used uh Gen Genjutsu. Yeah, Genjutsu on him. So yeah, he wasn't even fighting. But yeah, before Stain could actually like do anything, Deku just says the word Tsukuyomi. And Stain opens his eyes and sees like the ground made of blood and the only colors being black and red. So he tries to move, like, but he's chained to a wall. And Deku appears in front of him and says, "For the next 365 days, I will cause you torture and then kill you in the end." So Deku would have like only done 3 days, but then Stain admitted he was gonna betray him. So he ain't having that. You're gonna be tortured to death. And Stain gets tortured for a while, like he for a long year. And when he makes it out, he falls to the ground, like breathing heavily. Like remember, like I'm pretty sure they explained it in Naruto like a long time ago. I don't remember, but that only a second passes in the real world, but a whole year just passed for him. So that's crazy. But yeah, so Deku just wipes his eyes and picks up Stain's sword. Then he lifts it up and is about to use it, but Bakugo rushes in and casts an explosion. So now it's like caught up to pace. Like we're back in the present. So Bakugo rushes in and casts an explosion, and the smoke clears with like Stain being seen there alone on the ground. Then Bakugo hears a voice saying like, "Oh, hey Kachan, I wasn't expecting you to be here. Your classmate is there on the ground, unconscious. Wow, that's kind of a downer, bro." But Bakugo just looks around saying like, "Where are you, Deku?" And Deku, because he knows it's Deku. Like only Deku calls Bakugo Kachan. So maybe Deku says like maybe it's your turn. No, not yet. Maybe another time. You have something important to me. So and then flickers next to Stain, stabbing him through the heart. And Bakugo turned to see it happen, and Deku just said like, "You're still too slow, but maybe next time." And then he body flickered away, leaving a mess for Bakugo. And basically, yeah, Deku, bro, I think I made him too overpowered. Nah, he's perfect, bro. So anyway, Gran Torino, Endeavor, and Todoroki, like they're trying to fight the Nomus and villains, but it's making them trouble because you got to remember like this is more hectic than how it was in the canon. Like this is beyond basically. And more heroes they show up and take over the league in numbers. So portals they open up behind them and they begin to like jump through. And I'm gonna say before Toga went through though, she said like she yelled out like this was caused by the League of Villains and the best leader ever, Izuku. Then she jumped through the portal, causing it to close before anyone could reach it. And the heroes they just stand there looking around and made like calls saying like who caused the attack. And investigate like this is later, like much later by the way. And investigators, police, like they show up and find Stain's dead body. And also by the way, the Bakio did take Native and Ito away, but not Stain's body though, because why not? I guess I didn't really think about that, did I? Well, either way, he didn't touch his body. So yeah, the they find a note attached to Stain's body though. Oh, Luke's online. Yeah, okay. I can stream today. Hey yo, hold up. All right, yeah, okay. Let me just get this done and over with. All right. So there was a note attached to Stain's body, and it said like, "I didn't kill him for the good of people, like for the good of the people. I only did it so he wouldn't steal my spotlight." Signed Izuku, leader of the league. So yeah, from that point on, like to the next day, the news was just covered like everything that happened the day before. And they showed all the destruction, like the Nomu marks left behind by the people who did it or the league, and a video of Toga saying like this is like the league did this, and they talked about like Stain being murdered in an alley with a note attached to him like from the leader, and it was the note left by Deku. And the reporters continued by saying like this group of villains isn't just some normal gang, like this is serious, like we need to be cautious, like by any means necessary. So Stain, oh no, not Stain. Twice he starts saying that they're on TV, and the three of them laugh, like doing cheers on completing their mission. By three, I mean like, of course, Dabi, Toga, and Twice. You just gotta remember, I'm too lazy to do that. But Deku on the other hand, he's like seen coming up with more plans in his little corner, in the bar stool. But Dobby walked up to Deku and said like, "Hey boss, aren't you gonna look at your latest work?" And Deku replied saying, "What I had planned will make this little story left forgotten." And Dobby like he's like, "Shoot." Like he's legit just like he no joke, he's like, "Oh shoot." bro, what are you planning, bro? Do you see the destruction that you caused? Like, but yeah, Deku just like he just does a quick little ha, and then he says like, yeah, okay, and walks away. And the news reporter continues by interviewing Endeavor, who was there, and he asked about what he thinks about Izuku in the league. So Toga, or the three of them, they listen in as like Endeavor responds saying, what they did here was like a one-time thing. They even fleed with their tails between their legs when more heroes showed up, and their so-called leader just got lucky killing the hero killer. And Toga shouts boo, and Deku continue like doing what he's doing. He just tells them to play rock paper scissors on who gets to kill Endeavor, and they play, and the day ends. So yeah, there's one more thing. No, there's two more things I need to do. Okay, yeah, yeah. So the next day, Deku meets up with Hagakure, which is Invisigirl, if you forgot, and Deku tells her to give him some info on what's going on. So she tells him that due to his scene that he did in the city, uh the school are like they're keeping they're talking like they're taking you as a major threat and keeping eyes out for any sign of you. So Deku says all right, and makes sense. And she continues by saying Bahio has also been acting very strange lately, like just in general. And by the way, she doesn't know that Deku and Bahio are connected, so that's just something that she brought up. So Deku smirks behind his mask, and then she tells him that they're doing a training camp. So she gives him the location, and Deku tells her good job. Then he pulls out a huge wad of cash and says like, here's your pay. So she takes it, and Deku heads back for the bar. But before he took off though, Hagakure like tried to ask him something, but he didn't give her a chance. And later that night, All Might goes to Inko's house for a talk. And when he makes it, he takes a deep breath and like rings the doorbell. And he's in Small Might form, by the way, because he showed Inko like the first time they spoke, like all that time ago. Oh, I gotta rub my eye. It's like kind of irritated. Freaking contacts. I need to replace my contacts. But yeah, no one answers the door, and All Might tries to like knock on the door instead, but the door opens slightly when he knocks. So he opens the door fully and rushes in like to make sure she's okay. And the apartment is cleared out dry, and there's like no sign of Inko anywhere. So like basically all the essentials are taken. So All Might grabbed his face. No, 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 no. But okay, yeah. So there's no sign of Inko, but All Might's like shoot, and he contacts his investigator friend, and they find out that she ran away. So the investigator said like she either ran away because of Izuku, or Izuku told her to like get away from the area. And All Might grabbed his face and said like I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. If only like I told him he could be a hero and I encouraged him to follow his dream. Like he could have been the greatest hero ever, but now he's a threat to the public. Like even more serious than what it originally was. And it's my fault. Like what symbol of peace does that? And his friend tries to cheer him up with some fake bullcrap, but yeah, he just lets All Might clear everything off his mind first. And after school ends the next day, All Might tells Bahio to meet up with him at an abandoned building instead of the beach. So Bahio does so, and when he makes it, All Might tells him like, "Young Bahio, we both know that Izuku has become a massive threat, even though, like, even enough to kill Stain. No one could have killed Stain before, but now all of a sudden he's done it." And Bakio interrupted him and said like, "I know, all right. I'm supposed to be better than him, but over and over again he gets ahead of me." And All Might calms him down and grabs his shoulder, saying, like, I hate this as much as you do, but you need to understand what I'm about to tell you. And Bakio nods, and All Might tells them that Deku, or Izuku, is probably All for One's successor. And they go back and forth about it. And finally, All Might forces Bakio to understand that they're gonna have to train him so like painfully hard for that future battle, because All Might already knows, like, okay, look, it's gonna happen. It's only a matter of time. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it off there. Like, Deku did tell Inko to leave the city, by the way, and gave her like all the money she needed to make it during like his visit, or his first visit. And the next the next part for this what if, bro, if I continue it, of course, which I should, just like, bro, I'm honestly hyped for the next part. Like, you have no idea. Like, I actually do want to continue this series just for the next part, even though I haven't fully planned it yet. So yeah. Um. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of this part, and also like what you think about the the switching between story between Bakio and Deku, because I kind of liked it. And yeah, this might be a long video or this might be a short video. I have no idea. It might be kind of a long one just because I run on about different stuff like how I am now. Um, all right. Let me just end this. Let me just end it. So with that out of the way, remember to have yourselves a good one, and peace out, my boys.